Prada Cup semi-final was always going to be tough for one team. This was the first knockout phase of the competition. Win or walk away. Here's a summary of how the semi-final went. Both Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli and American Magic went into the Prada Cup semi-final bearing scars. Struggling to keep their campaign afloat, American Magic had been racing the clock as they rebuilt their boat. Luna Rossa had been defeated every time by Ineos Team UK and had never taken a win in a round robin where both boats finished.
Protest.
Now the nature of the semi-final meant that a new reality was hitting home. Win or walk away. It was as simple as that. But predicting who would come out on top in this best-of-7 series was far harder. American Magic had been knocked down badly. Could they now bounce back stronger? Their opponents thought so.
I think that right now there is a very dangerous situation for us because I'm sure that American Magic boat will be ready. And they worked 3 years in order to win the America's Cup. And Friday, they still have that plan.
The radio silence from Luna Rossa made it difficult to read the team's strategy. The Italians were giving nothing away. And when the first race got underway, we saw why. Luna Rossa was a different team. Confident, sure-footed and dominant on the racecourse. Conditions were right on the limit. A worst-case scenario for the Americans who needed to take things step by step. Instead, it was out of the frying pan and into the fire. Luna Rossa controlled the start, led to the first gate and extended their lead from there on to take the first win. A precision-based performance, as American Magic struggled to maintain control. Race 2 saw the breeze drop slightly, but the pattern of play remained. Luna Rossa led from the start and, despite a skid through one of the gates, stretched out another impressive lead.
Nice and easy, boys.
Day 2 was now critical. The breeze was down on the previous day, better conditions for American Magic, who needed to pull a rabbit out of the hat and win a race to keep their campaign alive. But despite a better start, they were bounced off by Luna Rossa on the first leg. The Italians dominated the tactics and controlled the game, leading by 13 seconds at gate 1, 22 at gate 2. 26 minutes after the start, Luna Rossa had taken their third win. 3 near-flawless races.
You felt pretty good with that, Jim, don't you?
Time was running out for American Magic. This was it, race 4. Win it and fight another day, or start packing. The first signs were there in the pre-start. Luna Rossa was once again calling the shots. On all but the downwind legs, the Italians were quicker, smarter, and surging ahead once again. A Canton breakdown on American Magic added to their woes and ruled them out of race 4 and their campaign for the America's Cup. For Luna Rossa, the goal had been delivered, a perfect 4-0 scoreline, a passage to the Prada Cup final and a message to their opponents, Ineos Team UK.
We'll be doing everything we can to come out and get some payback on the Poms.
Definitely going to have a good fight against the British. We want to win every race.
That battle starts on the 13th of February in a 1-7 series. So that's how the semi-final played out. Now the focus is all on that final between Ineos Team UK and Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli. And what a battle that's going to be. The fascinating thing about it is that no one seems to know who's going to come out on top. Now you might think I'm bound to say that, but they really don't. We've been agonising over it for quite some time now, but the thing is that both teams have changed their performances so radically in the space of a couple of months that it's impossible to know where the datum is anymore and how much more they've got to give. Whether they've used up all the toys in their toy cupboard, we just don't know. Ineos Team UK has been really quite open about what they've done with the boat. They were quite candid about the problems they were having and the amount of things that they had to change in order to get that performance up again. Counter that with Luna Rossa Prada Pirelli's approach, which is basically say nothing, or at least say as little as possible, but they still came out with an amazing leap in performance. So given how hard it is to figure out who's going to have the upper hand come the final, I thought I'd better ask someone who had an awful lot more experience in these things. It was during an interview with Paul Goodison, the main sheet trimmer at American Magic, that we then started talking about the other teams and their prospects. Here's what he had to say. Right, 2 key questions. Who's going to win the Prada Cup? That's the first question.
Ineos.
Yep.
Yeah, I want my buddies next door. No offence to my Italian buddies, but some of the guys I've grown up Olympic sailing with, and they're the guys I'm the tightest to, and I'd love them to see them go and win.
And you think they've got a realistic chance of doing that?
I think so, yeah. Like I'm blown away by their turnaround. Like I remember Christmas Day, I'm sat with Giles and Bridle, and I struggled to know what to say to the guys because they're obviously having a tough time, and we were flying high right then, and I never saw this coming. So it's amazing what's happened next door, and I think if they keep carrying on with the confidence that they must have gained, then they got a real good chance.
Okay, the big killer question then, they get through, can they win the Cup? Will they win the Cup?
I think they have a real chance. I think either of the challengers, Luna Rossa or Ineos, if they get through, they have a chance of winning, primarily because they've done so much more racing. They've delivered under pressure to get there, and they're obviously got something right. My one worry is the performance of the Kiwi boat. We saw that before Christmas when a lot of us were on our 3rd generation setup and we were fine-tuning. Those guys were still sailing along on 2nd generation stuff and going faster than us. So the design of the boat, the way that they've, I guess, come out with a final package is pretty nice, and you all look to them as they've done a really good job. So I think they're going to have the performance, but like we've spoken about in this sort of race, and if you can start well and get out and sail the course well, you have every chance of winning. So again, it's going to be really interesting.
So as I mentioned earlier, that was done when I was doing an interview with Paul about main sheet trimming on an AC75, which was a fascinating chat. That's going to be out soon, so keep an eye out for that. See you next time.